I'm live on YouTube. Hi everyone, I don't know if anyone's there yet. This is my first live stream video. I'm going to be painting live for you today. This is my blank canvas. I'm going to be painting a portrait. Usually I paint live at events, so I paint things like this, which some of you might have seen on my Facebook and on my Instagram. And the idea is I go to the event, like a wedding, and I paint the scene live there. So I might paint the ceremony or the first dance, and something like this comes out of it that the couple can keep afterwards. And here's another one. So I'm very used to live painting, and I never get nervous, but I'm actually a little bit nervous for this because I'm not sure who's watching or if it's even working. It feels a bit strange. So yeah, today I'm going to be working on something a little bit different. Recently, I've been getting into portrait painting and different kinds of portraits that I can paint, because when I go to events, I am painting people and I'm painting their faces. And it's something that I wanted to work on and develop in my artistic practice. So I've been working on this, and I'm going to do something similar to this I'm going to show you. Whilst I've been locked in quarantine, I've been working on this piece, which is the body just covered with different florals, which I've kind of made up around the edge. And today I'm going to do something similar, but with just a face. I've used my own face, so it's going to be a self-portrait. So yeah, this is my canvas, and I'll just take you through the different materials that I use to get started. So I always have a pot of water. I actually recycle different glass jars. So this is an old candle, and I recycle my old pasta sauces, jars and things. I have a variety of different paintbrushes. So I start off with these big flat brushes to get the background colours on, and then the further I work into the painting, the more detailed brushes I use. So the smaller the brushes get is usually how it works. I've usually got a bit of paper to wipe off any excess paint, and just off the camera I've got loads and loads of paint. We've just got a mess over here, but I've got all the different colours you can imagine, hundreds of different paints. So I paint using acrylics. These are my favourite medium. They're super versatile and really fast drying. I paint quite quickly. I'm a little bit impatient, so these are a really good material to use for me because they dry so quick and you can layer them up. And it's really great for when I go to events and live painting that you layer these paints on top of each other because they dry so quick. So I can paint the background before anyone arrives, and then I can put people on top, which you can't always do with other paints. So I also use my iPads to help me paint live. What I do is I have different I take pictures of people as I go along and have them on my iPad, and then nobody needs to stay still throughout the event. So today I'm going to be putting my reference picture on the iPad to help me paint. That's a bit of a self-portrait that I took. So I also use Tupperware to put my paints into, and the reason I do that is because you can seal them with the lid, which means that they stay fresh. So if I wander off for an hour or whatever, or I'm waiting, or I want to paint the next day, I can just pop the lid back on them. And when I'm done with it and it dries, I've got an old one. When I'm done with it and it dries, I just pick the paint off and I can use it again. They're really handy to use and reusable. So I did have some music going, some background music. I'm going to put it back on. There we go. Okie dokie. Let's get started. So to get started, I prepare my paints in here. So I just put in a mix of the different shades that I think I'm going to need. So I use loads of white for mixing, so that goes in first. I'm going to be using brown tones, different yellows and reds because I'm going to be painting a skin colour. So I've got my brown. And now I can't find it. Yellows. A bit of red, just a little bit. Two different shades of yellow. And then I just add in some other primary colours. So my blues. Oh, I've got Georgie has commented. Hi, Georgie. I've not really got started yet. I'm just preparing all the paints because I wanted to kind of show you guys how I do that with my little Tupperware. I'm going to add some green. So this is going to be a face surrounded by florals, like the one behind. I haven't actually decided which florals I'm going to use. I think it's going to be roses because it is a self-portrait and my middle name is Rose. So being very original there, but I do like them. So I'm probably going to be painting this today for a few hours. I hope the live stream works for that long. So if anyone's watching out there, you're welcome to see how I get set up and then come back in, check how I'm getting on later on. And you can see how it progressed. And if you really are very bored today, then you're welcome to stick around and watch the whole thing. Although there might be bits that are a bit slower. It's taking me ages because I've got so many paints to filter through. I'm a bit of an addict for paint supplies. If I go into an art shop, I can't walk out, empty-handed. I have to buy something, and I usually buy a lot, and it's very silly. I can spend hundreds of pounds on paints and paintbrushes, and I seem to never have enough. There's some blue. Okay, so we've got all our primary colours. We've got lots of white and a bit of black and some red and browns for the skin tones. So what I'm going to do first is I'm going to paint on the background. You won't be able to see the face from here, but I'll be going around the outside of the face and getting those details on. And then later on starting to work into the face. So I'm going to do quite a dark background. And I use the biggest brush. I'm going to need a little bit more black. So I usually have 2 different jars of water, because if I use dark colours like black, then I wash my brush in one of them, and then if I use the lighter tones like white, then I wash my brush in the other, and it just saves me sort of changing it every time, because I use the water quite a bit and I'm a bit lazy. So it's a bit difficult actually, because I've set it up on this easel, but it's wobbly. I'm going to try and tighten it up. Yeah, it's wobbly. There we go. So at the minute, I'm not really following a picture, I'm just getting in some sort of background colours. Because painting is all about, and especially painting in acrylics, it's all about layering. So getting that background layer on, and then the second layer, and then the third layer on top of that. So for this painting, you'll see that I did a similar thing. I painted the whole thing black to start with, and then I started to layer up some of the flowers on top. I did the grass line, and then I put the flowers on. So, and then put the details on the flowers. So that's about 4 layers going into this painting. Pop that there. So, and I'm just having a bit of fun putting the background on and thinking what colours would I like to come through subtly into the background. So that's why I'm getting the black, and I'm blending it with a bit of the red and a bit of the blue, because I think it'd be quite nice to have a sort of purple, dark purple undertone to the piece. Some light purple there. So I'm going to go around the edge face here that I outlined earlier. I didn't bother filming that for you guys because that bit really does take ages, and you won't be able to see anything because the lines that I've used are so faint. But something that I do is if I need to draw onto the canvas first, you might be able to see there's a grid on the canvas. So I say I'm going to do 5 squares across by 5 squares down, and then on the reference picture I use, I do 5 squares across and 5 squares down, and it helps you to picture where you're going to put each element. So here the eyes are bang on the middle of the square, so I know that's where they need to go. And it just helps when you're using such a big canvas to scale it up. Usually I get myself into all sorts of funny positions when I'm painting to get the right angles, so I'm trying to not get in the way so you guys can see what I'm up to. You'll start to see a face coming together now, well, the outline of a face, because I'm going around the edge. So usually when I go to events or weddings, I actually arrive early before anybody else. So this kind of stuff, I'm getting on the painting before people arrive, just so that by the time they get there, there's already a background and they can see, you know, what it's going to look like. I had a bit of fun trying to take this picture of myself. I felt very silly. I sort of lay on the floor of my bedroom and took a selfie with a few flowers that I got from the supermarket around my face. It always helps to have a reference image. I'll apply it to my story. Maybe if anyone's there, actually I don't suppose, if anybody is there, maybe just say hello, see which bit you're, oh, someone said hello. Oh, Meredith, hi, hello. This is actually the really boring bit. You guys should tune in later too and be able to see how it's progressed. I'm thinking maybe in an hour or so, I'm gonna get the background on. That's how long it takes to get the background on there, and then in an hour I'm going to start putting the face details on. Oh, we've got a hay, so cool. Hi Megan, hi Georgie, hi Aaron. Thanks for coming to see my first live video. It's really strange. I definitely feel like I'm talking to myself, and it's just weird. I hope you're all staying safe and well in lockdown, and you're not going too crazy. I'm doing fine because I can paint all day, which is what I did anyway before, so it hasn't affected me too badly. Ooh. I might repeat myself quite a bit, so as I was saying before, I'm just getting the background colours on. This area here is going to be my hair, out. This is definitely weird painting live at an event, because obviously I don't know who's there, but when I paint at events, the idea is that people are very welcome to come up to the easel and have a look at what I'm doing, and I'm there for the whole day, and so are the guests, so they can come right up to me and at the start and then at the end and just see how I'm getting on throughout the day. And it's really nice for them because as part of the entertainment, they can enjoy watching it come together. You always get one person who is sort of interested in art, and they want to ask you lots of technical art questions and that kind of thing, which I'm happy to answer. And then there's always one little kid who is fascinated and sort of stays with you throughout the day. And I do get a lot of the same comments. People ask me where they are and can I give them hair if they're bald, those kind of things. So. I'm going to have a go at some other hair now. So this is where I use my reference picture to just help me see where the light falls. in the piece. And get that brown on. It's actually quite dark at this bit, so I'm adding some bit of black. I actually do a lot of the mixing of the paint on the canvas, especially with this, and the colours, there's lots of different colours, especially in hair. So it's something that you kind of learn. If you keep the paint wet on here, then I can, and I can just fade it in there, and it kind of blends on the canvas, if you can see. I'm still using this really big brush because it's great to get the big strokes and curls of the hair. And then when I move on to the face, that's when I start using those smaller brushes. At the minute, it's really about getting the colour on there. I'm not worrying too much about the detail at the minute. I think different artists have different approaches. I know some artists, they like to work. I need to just adjust my seating. The stool is really high up. I know some artists like to work where they pick a bit and they do that part of it in details, in tiny details, and then I kind of like to work with the whole piece, get all the colours on in layers. So base layer, and the next layer, and the next layer, then do the tiny details all over, rather than trying to kind of get each bit perfect from the beginning. But that's just a personal preference and how I like to work. And really, this is the quickest stage, the part where you're just getting the colours on. Because you aren't doing that detail, the piece can look finished, but then you can spend just as much time as you spent painting it just on those finer details right at the end. Okay, oh, hi Martin. So we've got Martin, we've got Georgie. Oh gosh, actually quite a few people watching. It makes me nervous. Hello everyone, good to see you. I'm going to run out of things to talk about. I'm probably going to get a sore throat. That's why I've got the background music on. So I might just sit and do some quiet painting for a bit. Just experimenting here. And the great thing about acrylic is if you do a bit of experimenting, it dries so quickly, and if it doesn't look quite right, you can just paint over it. So you might kind of look at me and think like, how is she just randomly throwing paint on the canvas like this? It's because you can be a bit fearless with acrylic. Because if it goes wrong, you just do it again. So I realised I started doing the hair and then kind of needed to do background on it really. So I started to paint over it again, get those background tones on. I really love this red, look at that colour, it's gorgeous. Oh, you're smashing it. Thanks, Georgie. Number one fan. Hello, if anyone's joined recently and I've not said hello. Oh, Jack's watching. Maybe he's still there. Hello, hi. I'm just getting the background colours on. Sorry for repeating myself again. This stage will probably take like 40 minutes to an hour just to get the background colours on. And then I'll start working into the detail of it. So I'll start putting the face on. So if you've just tuned in to see what the hell I'm up to, what is this, why am I live, then and you want to check back in like an hour, you might see a bit of progress. It'd be good to see you again. I'm going to be here for maybe a few hours today, so you're welcome to just come in and out and say hello and come back when you want to see, how much progress I've made. And if any of you are super duper bored today, you are welcome to sit and watch paint dry with me. And I'll try and keep chatting to you. But yeah, do comment because I can see them. Oh, Ed's joined. Hello, Ed. I can see people commenting, which is nice because then I know I'm not talking to myself. This is really weird. But I need a little bit more purple. I actually had I think I've just seen it. I thought I'd lost this. Oh. This is the purple that I want. I've got paint everywhere, like I just keep putting it in different places, so purple. Eh. Some purple in there. Ah, that's good. I like that colour. So today I was supposed to go to my first live painting. It was going to be at a gorgeous venue. And I was really excited, but obviously, I'm just adjusting again. Obviously it had to be cancelled, so I'm super disappointed, obviously, but it's been rearranged for next year. And I'm excited for that. I'm really excited for that. So I thought, since I was supposed to be doing that I would still do a painting live and figure out how all this live streaming works. I actually feel like such a granny because I had no idea how to work any of this. There are all these streaming apps you can use, but I think I downloaded about 5 this morning just to try and because I'm going on YouTube and Facebook, so I was trying to do both at the same time, and then you can't do that, so I've actually got my phone and my webcam on my laptop, so I've got 2 different devices set up filming because I just couldn't figure out how to do both at the same time. So yeah, anybody who is good with that kind of thing or has ever done this before, please send me a message and help me maybe next time. I have had a couple of friends help me, which has been great, but maybe it was a bit too last minute to get it set up properly. I'm actually going to stand up because the angle's a bit funny. Can you still see? Yes. That's better. Now I can get a good stroke with the brush. So already this one is starting to dry quite well. So I'll do the other side, and I bet by the time I've done the other side, we'll be ready to go again. I want to do a whole series of paintings like this, like the one I showed you at the start with you know, the woman lying in the field of flowers. I want to do a whole series, and a few of my friends have offered to pose for me. So if anyone out there wants to become a model, get in touch because I need some more models when this is all over. Getting my paint on. Okay, so I'm happy with that side now. And afterwards, I usually paint the edge of the canvas as well, but I won't do that because you guys don't need to see that. Hello, everybody's just joined. Oh no, I've got paint on. So all my clothes are covered in paint. This outfit actually not too bad, but yeah, most of my clothes are covered in paint, especially the sleeves. Ooh. Yeah, I get messy. When I go to my events, I usually take a mat for the floor, even though I'm a lot more careful at events. And I don't have to sit at a weird angle. So usually there's never any spillages, but yeah, that's what I do when I go to venues. So I actually painted at St. Paul's Cathedral last year, which was amazing, obviously. And they didn't allow paints in the building because it's St. Paul's Cathedral. So I had to come up with a different way of doing it. And what I did is I said that I would do a sketch and I would use watercolour pencil. So obviously this isn't paint and it won't drip or cause any damage to the to St. Paul's Cathedral. Well, lost my train of thought. And then I could use a bit of water just to blend that out. And that's how I got around that. So it was amazing, just amazing to be able to do that. They didn't even allow red wine in the venue. So yeah, everybody there only allowed white wine in St. Paul's Cathedral. Fun fact for you. So these brush strokes are a little weird because I might just stand up again because I feel better when I stand up. You guys can all see me on this side. So what I'm doing is just putting a bit of black on the canvas, and then I'm letting that dry and just adding streaks of pink, because I kind of want that to subtly pop through. Oh, I've got some comments. Colour combo is looking awesome. Thank you. Making it up as I go along. Megan, it's already coming together so beautifully. Thank you. Yeah, check in however long and see how it comes together. I'm definitely going to run out of things to say in an hour. So if anyone's in the comments, ask me questions. Maybe it'll give me more to talk about. If you want me to talk, or if you want me to shut up, you can say just shut up and paint, and I'll just shut up and paint. I'm not sure if anybody is like, I don't want to press back on this in case. Okay. I'm just checking that all still working. Good. I kind of wish I could have gone live on Instagram as well, but that would have been too crazy for me. I don't have that many devices. I need the iPad for my reference. Usually, I actually just paint on the floor. That's my preferred arrangement. So I like to kind of move around it and, get all the different angles and sides. That's when I paint at home. Obviously, I don't paint on the floor when I go to events. That would be really silly. And perhaps doing this a little faster than I usually would, just because I'm aware that you guys are watching and you want to see how it comes together. So it's likely that I'll finish it up in a few hours and then do the details off camera, just because that would be super boring for you all. And we're out of blue. Fluorescent blue. Ooh, let's see. A bit of fluorescent blue. Ed, all works fine. Nice studio space. Thanks, Ed. I actually love my little studio. It's my favourite place in the house. I've been basically locked myself in my studio for the whole of quarantine. And yeah, it's my favourite. I've got my little armchair in the window. I might have shown some of you like pictures on Instagram of my studio. And then my window looks out into my garden where I've got my flowers. So yeah, I really like it. Nobody's told me to shut up and paint yet, so that's good, I think. Hello, everybody who's joined. I'm painting a portrait. I might just start the intro again. I'm painting a portrait today. I'm just getting the background colours on. And you're welcome to tune in throughout the day and just see how I'm getting on. I think, if you check in another half an hour, you'll see lots of progress and that kind of thing. So just get background colours on, start painting the hair, and then I'll get to work on the face. I don't actually do that many faces this close up, so this is a bit nerve-wracking for me actually, because faces are difficult. Oh god, like anything else I've done is super easy. Buildings, flowers, but people are just they're tricky because I guess we recognize faces really well. So if you make, a mistake, a tiny, tiny mistake, then it doesn't look like that person at all. You have to be, so precise with faces. It's not actually my medium. I did my degree in architecture, so I spent 3 years drawing buildings and not people. So I had to do a bit of work when I started doing my live painting to learn a bit more, about painting figures. Because actually, in architecture school, you're taught to paint figures like a blob. Like you just go like, and that is your people. Because people, they don't necessarily, well, they do matter, but they're just figures rather than getting the detail of them. Oh, okay, I'm being asked some questions. How many paintings have you done? Oh, this is complicated, thanks, Maureen. How many paintings have you done, and what was your first or most favourite? Hundreds of paintings. I have done hundreds of paintings. I started painting when I was really young. I think I remember getting like a canvas when I was about 11 or 12, and I painted some flowers on it, and then after that I just wanted to paint bigger canvases and experiment. So I would come home from school every day and just paint. So I did on the wall over there. It's all in the background for a lot of my YouTube videos. You'll see my elephants. That's still one of my favourite pieces. I'm not get it off the wall because I'll never get it off again, and I should concentrate. To making me go off track. What's your favourite type of paint to paint with? Oh, questions are coming in. Well then, yeah, favourite paintings, hundreds of paintings. Honestly, I've lost track. It's got to be 200 or 300, because I remember counting how many paintings I'd done before I went to university, and that was 100. I remember. So if you think that was 6 years ago, hundreds and hundreds. I still love it, and I'm still learning all the time. With each piece that I do, I'm still improving, especially with the live painting. That's such a different kind of painting, because you've got to be reactive to the situation. You've got to sort of guess ahead about what you're going to paint, because the people haven't even arrived yet. So you have to think, where are they going to stand? And I've got to paint the background before I even know what it's going to look like. So it's really tricky, actually. Right. These are my background colours. And before I go any closer, I'm going to grab a drink and just read these questions. Well, thanks everyone for your comments. It's nice to know that you're all watching and listening. I'm not sure how many people I've got going on. Well, let me just, hopefully this won't turn it off. Oh, cool, we've got 7 of you on YouTube, 4 of you on Facebook. Hello, hi. Hope you're all doing okay during quarantine and you're staying safe. And everything. And hopefully this will be over soon. We can go outside and see our friends. In the meantime, you can watch me paint, I suppose. So I'm going to look at the hair now. I'll run out of brown. What's your favourite type of paint to paint with, from Georgie? Ooh, good question actually, Georgie. So I paint in mainly acrylics when I work on canvas. And I like that because, like I said, if you make a mistake, or if you want to change about it, you just paint over it. No big deal. It's very free. It's very fast. It dries really quickly. I've just seen a comment. I've lost my train of thought now because someone's comment came in and it made me laugh. Painting. What was I talking about? I was talking about my favourite paints, acrylic, and then I also paint in watercolours, and I like that. I'll show you a watercolour. It's just a very pretty, kind of delicate style. You have to be really careful with watercolours, because if you mess it up, you mess it up. So you only kind of get one chance, and the layers, you have to be really subtle with the layers, because it's transparent, and you have to be delicate with them. I also use a paint called gouache. I might pronounce that wrong, I always pronounce it wrong. And that gouache, I don't know, Google it, those are the G. And it's kind of like a mix between acrylic and watercolour, so it's still got the same transparency, but you can layer it a little bit more. So I would put it between acrylic and colour. I've never got on with oils, and I think that's because I'm too impatient. You have to work with oils quite slowly, and they take a while to dry. So if you want to layer something, you have to kind of wait for the next day before you can do that. And if anybody's ever seen me paint or seen my paintings before, I'm very quick, and I haven't got time for that. I haven't got time for oils. Okay, so the comment that made me laugh was Dylan coming in and saying, painting is wicked, but check out the trousers. Yeah, I got these trousers in Italy, they're my favourite. So I've worn them for you guys, and they're very free and flowy. So thank you. Right, I'm going to stop talking and get on with the hair. So I've got my reference picture here, which helps me. Still quite dark. I don't follow the reference picture sort of religiously, I just use it to help me. Help me to see where light falls. I remember when I started painting in school, all they told us to do was to was to just copy pictures, and you did so much copying of pictures. If anyone is watching, I went to school with who did like, GCSE art or whatever, or A-level art, you'll know what I'm talking about. We were just told to copy pictures, but I remember I tried to do a little bit different once where I merged loads of pictures together and painted it, and my teacher was not having it, so it was all rather boring. So here I'm using a mix of browns, white, a little bit of yellow, to get oh, that's a bit too much white. But like I said, if you mess it up, you layer it up. So, oh, that's quite a funny catchphrase. If you mess it up, you layer it up. I've gone mad. I hope none of you are listening to that bit. I was actually excited to do the picture for this because I got to curl my hair for the first time in a while. So obviously we've been locked inside, so there's been no reason to sort of get dressed up nicely. And even today I've, brushed my hair for you guys. So I'm just starting to have a look at where the curls might fall. So I'm putting in those, highlights for now of where the light hits the hair. Oh, I don't like that one, but we'll come back to it when it's dry. I'm going to check in on you guys. A cool lady has to have cool pants too. Yeah, she does. Thank you, Megan. Thank you. Hi, everyone. Oh, and for people who, I'm doing both. I'm doing YouTube, doing Facebook. So if people on Facebook don't know what I'm about, it's because I'm talking about the people on YouTube. Sorry. I couldn't figure out how to stream them both at the same time, so I'm using two devices. A happy V-Day. I'm aware that it is. I was thinking of maybe doing a V-Day themed painting, but I kind of already set this one up, and I decided to do this a bit last minute. Really, I was just going to test it out today and see, if people enjoyed it, and to try and figure out actually how it works, because I didn't really know how exactly to get going. So I just thought this would be a little practice go for us. Give YouTube Live and Facebook Live a go. Kind of wish I had a lighter background, but there you go. You let them know. Because my dark hair isn't really kind of popping against the background. And then can you guys see hair? I've got some new people joining us on Facebook. Hello. Yeah, Dylan says. Yeah, we can see hair. Okay, good. Because the screen on mine is so small, I can't see like what you guys can see just as well. So I don't know if like the details of it are coming through. Some of you have been here since the start. Thank you. What are we on now? I've only been here an hour, and you've been with me for the hour. Oh, thank you. I suppose that's why I did this, because I knew it was a bank holiday today, and more of you would have a bit of free time to join me. Or I quite like having background stuff on whilst I'm working. So, I'll have Netflix on whilst I'm painting, or I'll be listening to a podcast. So maybe some of you are doing something and I don't know, watching away in the background. And I'm your background noise. I don't know. I'm actually going to go around that. Oh, we've got another yep. Oh, I've got some more comments, but I can't see them. I'll read them in a second. I like this playlist that I've got on. It's just sort of chill background music. I don't know if you guys can hear it. I'm going to just turn it up for a sec. Oh, wow! This song that is playing is called Roses, which is going to be in the painting. Ah, it's meant to be. I like coincidences like that. I'll play announcements. Someone hanging on Facebook. Hello. Oh, we got someone else joining. Hi, Lissie. Grandma here. It is all amazing. Hello. Hi, Grandma. I'm glad you could join and have a look. I've just been getting the background on for the past hour, and then I'm going to start the face soon. So if you want to tune in throughout the day and just see how I'm getting on, that'll be great. Or you can just leave the background. This is all very strange because it feels a little bit like I'm talking to myself. And loads of people are commenting, which is great, but I think the comments are like a little bit delayed because it comes through sort of a couple minutes later, so I never know who's there. But no, thank you for everyone who's commented. Yeah, it makes me feel like I'm not talking to myself. So I've got the main bits of the hair on now. Like, it's not very detailed, and I'm going to work into it a lot, but it still counts as kind of like the background colours at the minute. Just to kind of give an indication where everything is going to go. I look a bit like, it reminds me of, is it Medusa with the snake hair everywhere? Oh, that's not what I was going for, but oops. Add a brown. Oh, Georgie has commented, if you could paint anywhere in the world, where would it be? Do you mean like what scene, or like if I could go and paint somewhere? If I could go and paint, I'm going to take it as like, if I could physically paint somewhere, anywhere in the world. Oh my God, where? Well, I've already had the opportunity to paint in India, and I always take a sketchbook wherever I go. So technically, whenever I've travelled, I've always painted. It'd be amazing to paint. I love Italy. I go there a lot, but it would be great to do a wedding in Italy, by the water or by the lakes. That would be brilliant. I'd love to do that. Another dream would be to, get another destination wedding where maybe I'm painting on the beach or something like that. That would be amazing. But I love I love the venues that I get to paint at anyway. I'm going to turn the music down. Oh, I've accidentally turned it off. Oops. The venues that I get to paint at anyway, because I go to weddings, I get to go to some really amazing venues. And I love old houses, you know, manors and palaces. They're also beautiful, and I love to paint them. So I'm very lucky to do the job that I do, because I'm always painting at amazing places. I'm trying to make myself look like Medusa with this. I think I got that right. Is that the right person? With the snakes, with the ape? I don't know. The Greek god with all the snake hair. I'm gonna look less like her. By putting my hands together. Okay, right, so I'm gonna finish some of that up later and start painting the face in a second. It's hard to explain to people just like my process and how I do it, but especially because I've been doing this for so long, I kind of just forgot how I actually do it. The answer is I just paint it. So a lot of people ask me, how do you paint? I think it's just a process of like layering and building up different tones, and you know, I'm just very quick at it. I always have been, and I think that just comes with practice. You know, I think everyone's capable of creating a painting, you know, if they build up the skills and do it slowly. We still have 8 people on YouTube. Hi. Oh, I've got another question. What's your favourite theme / subject? Oh, I don't know. I'm gonna have some smoothie. Favourite theme? Weddings. I like things that are pretty. I really like florals, and that's why I'm perhaps doing a painting like this. I don't like just florals on their own, but florals with things. That's why weddings are great, because they've always got so many flowers in the scene, and it just all looks very pretty. I like buildings. So obviously I did my degree in architecture. And colour. I think just colour. Anything that has colour. That's why I love florals. And that's why I love weddings, particularly the Asian weddings I get to go to, because they are so colourful, so beautiful. Right. I'm going to start with the. So for that, I want to make sure that my water is clear, because if I get the shade wrong here, it just looks like a bit very strange. And because I kind of want like a purple undertone, I'm actually going to paint a bit of that into the background of the face. I'm going to do first. I'm going to get this smaller brush, and I'm going to go around the outlines of the features, so the nose and the eyes, and use my picture to help me, just so I know where they are. It's going to look really strange for a second, because, you know, I'm going to paint these features and without the tone on them. And even now I've got paint all down my arm. I think I need to wait for the hair to dry, really. I have already sketched this in pencil. So, you know, I'm not that good. I can't just, you know, paint like that. I did prepare this canvas this morning. So, oh my gosh, I look a bit like a scary demon. Megan Hollis, hello. Hello, hello. So I think I'm not going to stay here any longer than sort of, what time is it? It's 1 o'clock. Oh my gosh, I've been here for an hour. I'm probably going to stay here no longer than 3 o'clock, so no more than 2 more hours. So if you are there and you kind of want to check back in, then maybe like 2 o'clock or 1:30 is good, but I'm still going to be here if you want to stay with me. So, skin tones. What I'm going to do first is I'm going to paint below the neck. Because they're the less important skin tones, because the most important ones, you know, around the eyes, and I want to make sure I've got it right before I start painting on there. So I'm going to use a mix of sort of like creams and browns, and my skin tone's quite light. Yellows and reds for skin tones as well. Actually, I'm gonna experiment and put a little purple in, seeing as. And this is where I'm going to use my iPad a lot as well, just to help me see where the shades are. How are you all? Anyone want to just tell me what they're up to, or I don't know, just what are you all up to? What are you doing today on your day off if you're in England? Oh, Sarah's grandma. Hello. Hello, hello. Actually, I'm going to stand up again because it's really hard to get the fine line details. I'm watching. My sister's just messaged me to say watching you. Hello. Hello. She says not going to comment that though. Thanks, Megan. Do it for you. You can comment whatever you like, Megan. Within reason. Oh, there might be 2 Megans watching. If the other Megan's watching, I'm talking to my sister. Not to confuse you. I don't know if you're still watching. So I'm going to just play now. Add some purple, why not? There's a shadow under my neck. I'm going to get down here. Bye, everyone. Just get this. You know, like I said earlier, if any of you were there, I usually paint on the floor. I usually have the canvas on the floor. Just so I can maneuver around it, I think, and, you know, get into all sorts of positions and things to try and paint. I'm going to get a bigger brush, actually, because this is a really big canvas. I'm just Megan 2 now. No, you're not. You're Megan 1. My sister could be Megan 2. Martin says, watching me paint, thanks. Are you supposed to be working and also watching me paint? Grandma, we just about to have lunch. Salmon sandwiches. Yum. Oh, good. Enjoy. That sounds yummy. I had a quick sandwich before I started this, but I'm starting to get hungry now. That's okay? Ah, this brush is so much better. Yes. I can blend all of those colours. Let's see what I look like. Get the brown and I kind of think I should have done a smaller canvas for you guys, and I would have maybe finished it a little earlier, but hey ho. Purple. He says multitasking. Oh my god, I'm so sorry. No, Megan Hollis is number 2. She can be number 2. She was texting me, so you know. Number 1, Megan. This isn't the way now. Bit of a dance at the minute. All right, let's slap that on. Megan says, as in Megan number 2 says, not number 1 nor number 2, just Megan. Oh god, okay. You guys, Megan's unite. Okay, good. Okay, fine. Yeah, you 2 do that. I'm sorry. You have to be quite good at multitasking if you're a live painter, especially if you're going to events, because people are coming to chat to you and people are coming to ask you questions, and then you've got to sort of coordinate with other people. And then when you go to events, people always think you work there, and they're like asking you things like where the bins are and giving you rubbish. And you have to say, I'm sorry, but I don't work here. I'm just here to paint. So, yeah, even though painting takes quite a lot of concentration, so it can be very difficult to paint live. But it's nice to have you guys in the comments. Megan's Unite. Oh, that's very sweet. You come together. I think I need a little break just to hydrate. Lost people on Facebook. We're still going strong on YouTube. Hi everyone. Just gonna check. I'm surprised that my devices haven't like exploded yet. They're all sort of charging and stuff. I've been on for an hour. Okay, we're hydrated. I'm ready to carry on. I'm just going to add bones here. This is where my neck is. So I'm using a bit of purple here, and I know purple isn't generally associated with skin tone, but I'm going to add purple in the flower of the piece, and by mixing the brown and the purple together and creating a sort of darker shade to create the tone, and it will make the piece feel a bit more cohesive, like makes it feel like it comes together a little better. I don't know if that makes sense to you guys, or if I'm just making things up as I go along. I'm just doing a shadow of my neck. Is Megan 2 still there? If Megan 2 is still there, then I think you should. I've not heard from Nicholas yet. Is he watching? He's probably out on his bike. Okay. This bit's a bit fiddly, actually. Oh, Nicholas is watching. Oh, hello. He's just cooking. What are you having for lunch? What's everyone having for lunch? We've already got salmon peat sandwiches. What else? Oh, yeah, I would definitely be spending a little bit more time on each of these elements, but I'm keen to kind of get the bulk of it done for you guys so you can see. I thought the big canvas would be best so you can all see it. They're having chili prawns and potato salad with some naan bread and broccoli. Thanks, Megan, too. Okay. Oh, someone's back on Facebook. Still got 8 on YouTube. Hi everyone. Hello if you've just joined. I'm painting a portrait today. Been getting the background on. I'm probably going to be here till about 3 o'clock. So you're welcome to tune in whenever and to see the progress and how it's getting on. I'm going to start working on the face at the now. that big brush again, because I'm going to cover the majority of the face. I'm going to start here. So before 3, I think I will have like the main bulk of the painting there, but I will still have so many more details to do, because earlier I said that, you know, the details, they're the bit that take the most time. And probably I'll do those off camera because they're such small changes and they take so long that, you know, you won't be able to see that much progress. And I kind of, when I'm doing details, I kind of do an hour and I come back to it another time and that kind of thing, because they're the bit that take the most concentration and you kind of get a bit bored, or you know, those kind of things. Let's see. Oh, I've got some sort of thing going on in the YouTube comments. Oh, she won't hate you. She's used to this abuse from me. Abuse, I don't know. I'm just going to look through the comments because I've had a few. Oh, Georgie, currently doing book in my garden, very therapeutic. Oh, that's great. Enjoy. Send me a picture when you are done, because I would love to see that. So I'm going to treat the face a little bit like I treat the background. Like I'm going to put a background color on the face. And then, you know, look into layering up those details. What Megan 2 isn't telling you, Megan 1, is that she gives it me a lot worse. So excuse me. Last post is played at 2:55, so I'll be outside listening to Socially Distant Town Band. Okay. I don't know what that means. Last post. I don't understand. to try and read the comments. Thanks everyone for watching. You've been keeping me company. I'm going to start painting in the nose now. Little nose. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the shade side on first. Here. Like build up the shade there. What have you all been getting up to during quarantine? What have you been doing to keep yourselves entertained? Have you been watching Netflix? Have you been doing like an art project or a DIY project? Let me know in the comments. Keep chatting to me because I enjoy it. Like looking at your comments coming in. What are you having for lunch? All those things. So I'm going to get a really teeny brush now to help me paint the details of the nose. Oh, giggle. Looks like I've got babies now because I've dribbled the paint down it. Sometimes I just use my fingers because I'm lazy. And my whole hand ends up becoming a paint palette. So I do get a little messy.